Shalom, shalom. I'm going to start off this video by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash, double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of the great millstone that rule well, teach well while learning truth, 100% according to the Bible. I also want to say shalom to the elect, the 144,000 men, prophet, service, scattered abroad, the four corners of the earth. And shalom to you, Aquaf, which are you few sisters out there that are sincere, your children, shalom. And in today's video is going to be building off of another video I got here from the brother, the whole full like 3. And we're going to kind of just be building off of this video in the spirit. So I'm going to get straight into the video. We're going to allow it to play, and I'm going to grab a few precepts. And Abarat Tazai, I pray this lesson be edifying. But with that being said, fair use. I'm not getting paid for this video.
I think I know why they are building so many jails, prisons or whatever. It's because of the way things are going. Now, I'm being serious right now. I joke a lot, but this is real serious. I had a serious thought this morning, just thinking if I was a mother with maybe 4 or 5 kids, and my food stamps got cut off, and I didn't know what I was gonna do or how I was gonna feed my kids, or I was a man that had a family and we were surviving our food stamps, me and my wife, however we had it. I'm just saying, I was just thinking in my head, what would the average person do with kids that need to feed their kids and these food stamps have stopped coming or they cut off and I got a lot of mouths to feed? The crime rate is going to go up. I'm going to tell you why, because people are going to actually start shoplifting and doing what they got to do to feed their kids. You could be going outside with your groceries now.
Right. And you hear what it is Eve is saying just for the little bit of the video I allowed to play. And she's absolutely right. That is what's coming to America. You see looting of stores. You see chaos, people ultimately not having any compassion for one another. You see things like that. That's what's about to come to the shores of this place, man. You see, I'm going to grab 2nd Esdras chapter 15. I'm going to start at verse 14. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Woe meaning destruction, because, hey, that's what Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is bringing upon this place, man. You see, verse 15, for the sword and their destruction drive nigh. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands, right? You're going to have civil unrest, civil wars, and things like that happening in these streets of America. And a lot of it is going to stem from the lack of food, the lack of resources, man. You see, verse 16, for there should be sedition among men, right? That goes into people uprising against the government, because ultimately once things really does begin to get harder out here for these American people, they're going to be blaming the government for ultimately everything that's happening. So you're going to have people fighting against the government, man, blaming them for ultimately the way that things are in this country, right? It says, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power, right? Verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, you see, because ultimately this place, America, is going to get locked down via the military. When all this chaos begins to happen and a lot of people begin to loot stores and, take matters into their own hands and begin to bug out. Ultimately, that's what Esau Edom wants you people to do anyway, because once you do that, then ultimately that gives him justification to bring in the order out of all of the chaos that's going to be occurring. You see? It says, verse 18, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. So ultimately, that's what Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is going to bring upon you people, fear, man. You see, evils, turmoils, man, sufferings, miseries, ultimately due to your pride, man. And these people here in Babylon the Great are proud, man, especially a lot of you women out there that are receiving these food stamps and all of these different benefits. Hey, Trump is already cutting a lot of that stuff off, man, and it's going to get cut more and more. And eventually, like she's saying in the video, a lot of people going to start to take matters into their own hands, right? But I'm going to actually grab another precept that I got. 2nd Esdras 8 and 50. For many great miseries, right, shall be done to them that in the latter times shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. And like I said, a lot of you people here in Babylon the Great are proud, man. You see, and Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is about to bring a lot of miseries upon you people, man. You see, a lot of suffering is coming down the pipeline. You see. But I'm going to get back to 2nd Esdras chapter 15. I'm going to read verse 19. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, right? So your favorite neighbor, Bob, that you've been living next door to for the last 15, 20 years, hey, he ain't going to care about you in this day that's coming, man. You see, it said a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, right? He's not going to have any compassion on you, no mercy, right? It said, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, right? The gun. and spoil their goods. People going to be ransacking people's houses. This how bad it's going to get out here real soon in America, man. You're going to have people out here really ransacking people's houses just for, you see, a pack of noodles, man. It's going to get that bad for canned goods. You see, for simple things now that people take for granted. In the times to come, people are going to be killing over those things, man. That's how bad it's really about to get out here, right? It says, because of the lack of bread, right, that famine, and for great tribulation, man. These are all of the things in which Yahweh Shem Yahushua is about to bring upon you American people. You see, it's coming, right? Because as it tells us right here, I'm going to grab this. 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 1. It says, this know also that in the last days, perilous times shall come. And we are in the last days. And we are definitely living in some perilous times, man, which goes into times that are uncertain, times that are dangerous or risky. You see, and things is only going to continue to intensify more and more, and things are going to get more dangerous, man. Right? So I'm actually get back into the video so we can finish listening to what it is she's saying. But yeah, these things are coming down the pipeline upon this place, America. Eventually, these people are going to start taking matters into their own hands, you see, because ultimately, as it tells us in Matthew 24 and 12, and because iniquity shall abound, meaning sin upon sin, wickedness, the love of many shall wax cold, man. Right? Cold in the Greek meaning psychos. And these people are already bugged out of their mind. So how much more once all of these perks and all of these different benefits and all of these things that these people ultimately been receiving starts to get taken away from them, man. Like I said, people going to lose their mind. Right? But I'm going to get back into the video and allow it to play. All right.
You're going to have to be careful and watch what you're doing, because somebody might just try to get you trying to get your groceries, because they got to do what they got to do. I want to say it's called survival mode. Trying times, people do things that they don't want to do to feed their families. And you got to think about it, what would somebody do when they don't know where their next meal coming from and they got to feed their kids. You got a lot of parents out here that might be trifling or whatever, but you do have parents out here that are trying to do the best they can to feed their children. And they are getting public assistance, and they really need it. But I'm just thinking at the end of the day, y'all, is this a setup? Because they're building a lot of prisons all over everywhere. And with everything going on, when do people commit the most crimes? To be honest, when do people commit the most crimes? I know for a fact when people are addicts, they do, because I've known people that have addicts living with them, and they steal from them to support their addiction to you know what. So I just want to know, what do you think is going to happen this year when people's food stamps and stuff start getting cut off? What do you think is going to happen? How are these people going to feed their children? And what kind of extremes are people going to go to feed their children, to make sure their children are fed? I'm just saying, is this a setup? I mean, it is what it is. I always talk about food stamps because we never got them. My mama cooked breakfast for dinner sometimes when I was coming up. We was poor, but we made it. But everybody is not the same. What do you do when your back is against the wall and you got mouths to feed, no help?
Right. And we hear what it is she's saying, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Because eventually, like I said, with everything that's happening here in this place, America, people are feeling like their back is against the wall, right? And what do people do when they have nothing to lose? They lose it. So eventually, yeah, you're going to have all hell breaking loose and people out here looting stores and just chaos everywhere in the streets of Babylon, man. That's what Yahweh Shem Yahushua is about to bring upon this place, man. You see? And I'm going to actually grab 2nd Esdras chapter 6, because this is how bad it's going to get, man. Right? I'm going to start at verse 22. It said, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. That's talking about these stores, man. Right? Your Walmarts, your Krogers, your Save-A-Lots, your Piggly Wigglies. You see, wherever stores, these people go to ultimately get their food, right? It says, and suddenly shall the sown places, which are the stores, appear unsown, right? They're going to be empty. Because like I said, in the midst of all of this chaos and the civil upheaval of the people and everything that's going to be transpiring and going on, guess what? These people are going to be looting these stores. So everything is going to, run out quickly, man. You see, and you ain't going to have trucks bringing in food and stuff like that when there's complete anarchy going on in the streets. So, hey, it's going to get real bad out here, man. Right? It says the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty, right? And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid, right? Verse 24, this is the point I want to touch on. It said, and at that time shall friends, right, fight one against another like enemies. This is how bad it's going to get out here, man, that your cousins and, family members and all type of people are ultimately going to be fighting against each other, man, going crazy, bugging out, losing their mind, man, over the lack of food and the lack of resources, man. People are really going to lose their mind in these times, man. That's why ultimately you're going to ultimately need Yahweh Shem Yahushua for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, because the Lord elect, they're going to be stable in these times while everybody else is losing their mind, not knowing what to do, panicking. You see, being full of fear. Hey, the Lord's elect are going to be stable. That's Isaiah 33:6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of that times, the strength of salvation, the fear of the Lord is his treasure, right? These people are not going to have, the stability, man, right? Talking about you 2/3, man. You see, these are going to be the things that you're going to be worried about. Oh, how are we going to eat? Oh, how are we going to get this? How are we going to get that? The Lord's elect are not going to be focused on things like that, man, because the Lord is going to be coming through for them, man. You see, and they're going to believe in the Lord, you see, to know that he's going to come through on their behalf through faith, right? But I'm going to read verse 24 again. And at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. Like I said, it's going to be food shortages, right? That's coming. So I'm going to actually grab this precept as well, because like I said, Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to be the one bringing all of this chaos, this confusion, and this division, man. Right. This is St. Matthew chapter 10, verse 34. It says, think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. Verse 35, for I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and a daughter-in-law against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. You see? So verse 36, and a man's foes, meaning your enemies, shall be they of his own household. This is what's going to be happening, man. We see it happening now, but in these times that are ahead, it's going to get worse, man. You see, people are going to be, just going crazy, man. That's what's coming down the pipeline. You see, when things really hit the fan. But like I said, in these crazy times that are coming, you see, the Lord is going to be with the elect of the nation of Israel. You see, they're going to be fed. They're going to be taken care of. They're not going to ultimately have to worry about these things that the 2/3 of our people are going to focus on. They're going to be focusing on, oh, how are we going to eat? Oh, how are my babies going to get, food and stuff like that. The Lord's remnant are not going to be focused on those things. You see, what does it say in Psalms 37, right? King David said that. I'm going to start at verse 25. It says, I have been young and now I'm old, yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken, right? The elect, nor his seed begging bread. So guess what? The Lord is going to come through for the elect, man. You see, Abaratazah, we be at that number in these times of, food shortages and, SNAP benefits getting cut or whatever it may be. You see, because like I said, famine is coming down the pipeline, you see. But the Lord is going to be with the elect, man. You see, in these terrible times that are coming, you see, they're not going to be worried about these things. You see that, the 2/3 of our people and these heathens are focused on. They're going to be worried about how we're going to eat, you see, and stuff like that. You see, but I'm actually grab this precept as well. This is Matthew chapter 6. And I'm going to start at verse 25. It says, therefore, I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat or what ye shall drink, nor yet for your body what ye shall put on. Is not the life more than meat, and the body than raiment, right? Verse 26, behold the fowls of the air, for they sow not, neither do they reap, nor gather into barns. Yet your heavenly Father feedeth them. Are ye not much better than they? You see? So guess what? If Yahweh Shem Yahushua feeds the birds, you see, you best believe that he's going to feed his elect in these times of when everything begins to get worse out here, man. You see, he's going to make sure that his remnant gets fed, man, that they get nurtured, that they get comforted in these times, man, right? While everybody else is going to be losing their mind, bugging out, looting stores and, going crazy and not knowing what to do. And you see, the elect are not going to be in that spirit, man, right? Because they're going to trust in the Lord to come through on their behalf, right? It says, verse 27, which of you by taking thought can add 1 cubit unto his stature, right? Verse 28, and why take ye thought for raiment? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They toil not, neither do they spin, right? Verse 29, and yet I say unto you that even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these, right? Wherefore, if Yahweh by Shem Yahushua so clothe the grass of the field, which today is and tomorrow is cast into the oven, shall he not much more clothe you, O ye of little faith? Right? So like I said, Yahweh by Shem Yahushua is going to come through for the elect, man. Right? I'm going to finish reading though. Verse 31. Therefore take no thought, saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink, or wherewithal shall we be clothed? Right. Verse 32. For after all these things do the Gentiles seek. Right. Talking about these heathen nations, man. And ultimately the 2/3 of our people as well that are in the heathen state of mind. For your heavenly Father knoweth that ye have need of all these things. So like I said, the Lord is going to know, you see, in these times that guess what? His elect are going to need food to sustain themselves. Because like I said, food shortages are going to happen due to all of the chaos and all of the hell that's going to be breaking loose out here in this country. But guess what? The Lord is going to come through for his remnant, man. Right? This is Isaiah 65 and verse 13. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, behold, my servants shall eat, right? The servants of the Lord are going to eat. You see, the hopeful elect men, the hopeful elect ladies and their children, they're going to be nourished in these times. The Lord is going to come through for them, right? It says, but ye shall be hungry, talking about you 2/3, man. You 2/3 Jakes that didn't want to repent. You didn't want to turn back to the Lord. You wanted to continue to walk after the ways of darkness. You see, you're going to be struggling in this time that's coming. You're going to be the one worrying about, oh, what I got to eat. Oh, what I can get some food from, or where can I get food from, or something like that. You know, you 2/3 are going to be thinking like this, man, because the Lord ain't going to be with you. Right. It says, behold, my servant shall drink. Right. In a time of, water and things like that being scarce, the Lord going to make sure the elect have clean water to drink, man. Right. It tells you in the scriptures, that's Job chapter 5. I'm going to grab that. You see, right after I finish reading this, right? But it says, behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty, right? Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Verse 14, it says, behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart and shall howl for vexation of spirit. So like I said, the Lord's elect are going to be, cheerful in these times of all of this stuff that's going to be happening, because the Lord going to be coming through for them, man. Right? This is Job chapter 5. And I'm going to go down straight to the point. Right? And I'm going to start at verse 22. It says, at destruction and famine, thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. You see, so with all of the evils that Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is about to bring upon the earth, especially here to this place, Babylon, the Great America, you see the famine, all of the different type of chaos and anarchy that's soon about to unleash in this place. Guess what? The Lord elect, they're going to laugh, man, because like I said, the Lord is going to be coming through for them in these times, man. They're not going to be worrying and panicking, you see, like the rest of these people are going to be doing, man. You see, Lord's willing, we be at that number, right? But yeah, that's pretty much everything I had to say with today's video. Lord's willing, I pray it be edifying, just something quick through the spirit. To the next time, I'm going to say shalom to the elect. Shalom.